The Tesla Model 3 is already a few years old. The company is still selling thousands every month. And since then, when that very first car rolled off the production line, it had production delays and fit and finish issues. And now we've gone from one SKU to having multiple that offers various performance and different budget constraints. You can pick whatever Model 3 is going to be right for you. But whatever one you decide to get, I can recommend them all. So Tesla as a company is unique, but as a car company, they do things very differently. They don't have like dealerships where you can just go walk and check out all different models and different colors. They have display rooms and showrooms, but usually it's just one of each car and generally the top end. And what we have here is every version of the Model 3 currently available on Tesla's website. And just by looking at them, you can't tell a difference. And that's kind of the beauty of the Model 3. No matter which one you get, you're getting incredible value for the dollar. So the original promise of the Model 3 was a $35,000 mass market electric car. And that did kind of come to market. It's not available on Tesla's website. You can call and special order it if it's something that you want. So out of the cars that are available on Tesla's website, the first one, kind of the entry level that's widely available, it's called Standard Range Plus. It's gonna cost around $40,000, gonna give you about 250-ish miles of range. And you get most of the things that the other cars in the lineup have, with the exception of the sound system and heated seats, but some of those things can be added still a la carte through the Tesla app. And I think one of the awesome things of Tesla and why Tesla is still so far ahead of the competition is the over-the-air updates. When this car first came out, it didn't have a ton of features. It didn't have satellite maps on there. It didn't have music streaming, didn't have an internet browser, and a bunch more. And via over-the-air software updates, the car got all of that. It's pretty awesome to have a car that's always improving. So next up is the long-range dual motor. This is gonna give you 320 miles of range and comes in usually around $50,000. So for that extra, $10,000 or so dollars, you're getting an improved interior. Heated seats and things come standard. The connectivity is going to be there. And also you're getting the dual motor. So there's a motor in the front and a motor in the back. Gives you better traction if you're in snow and also better performance. And you're also getting the premium sound system, which actually sounds really good in the car. All right, so last up is the performance. That's the version that I went for. And I think this is where Tesla can be a bit confusing. Sometimes packages are standard, sometimes they pull them out. So it really kind of depends on when you order. Essentially you're getting a dual motor long range car, just tuned a little bit differently to be a bit faster. Give you 0 to 60 in about 3.2 seconds. And that's gonna give you things like those bigger 20-inch wheels, which I absolutely love, the carbon fiber spoiler in the back, bigger brakes, and those really awesome looking red brake calipers. But there's a trade-off with those bigger wheels. The range is gonna go down from 320 to around 300. So no matter which Model 3 you decide to go for, if you opt for the off-menu $35,000 car, you're getting incredible value for that 35,000 bucks. You're getting that just ridiculous instant torque with that crazy 0 to 30 time. You're getting a really good suspension. You're getting a car that's solidly built, one of the safest cars on the road. And beyond all of that, one that you don't have to put any gas in. The next car Tesla's got coming out is this guy, the Cybertruck. And if you want to rock a Cybertruck shirt, kind of a shameless plug, we actually made this complete with the cracked windows and all. If you want to pick one up for yourself, put a link to it down below, as well as a tasty little coupon discount code for you. Also, stay tuned to the end of the video to see how Motion VFX helps us create some awesome content. Getting a car is an immensely personal choice, and very rarely is there much rational thought that goes into it. Car purchase or car leasing is usually at least an emotional thing, and that was the case with me with my Model 3. I decided to not go with another Model X or a Model S for a few reasons. As of ordering and when I filmed this video, those cars didn't have the same level of technology that the 3 has. Didn't have the ability to use your phone as a key, didn't have the horizontally oriented sort of right in the center display, didn't have full level 3 supercharging. And as someone who just drove an S and an X, I don't want to drive another car for 3 years that looked identical. I didn't want to look at the exact same thing for 9 years. Plus, I really didn't want to spend that much money again for another car with having another kid. So the Model 3 seemed like a really good option. I wanted to stay electric, and so the 3 was kind of an ideal choice for the time being. And I went for the performance option Not entirely sure why, mostly because they had just announced when I ordered the dark performance rims, and I thought it looked absolutely awesome. The performance is absolutely beastly. It's 0 to 60 in about 2.9-ish seconds, but the 0 to 30 time is unbelievable. If you've never driven an electric car, that instant torque, I mean, throws you back. This car is so fast that I very rarely even have the opportunity to use the full acceleration. If I was going to buy it or have it longer than 3 years, I probably wouldn't have gone for performance. I very rarely can use the power that the car has. I think one of the big reasons people get a Tesla is for Autopilot, and any version of a Model 3 you order from the Tesla website has Autopilot standard, and that is just a gigantic advantage for Tesla over any of the competition. You actually get two versions of Autopilot. On any version of the Model 3 you can order from the Tesla website, you get the basic Autopilot now for free. That'll kind of do its thing driving on the freeways for you. It won't change lanes or navigate any of the intersections, but it will drive and slow down and take turns for, obviously, with your attention and hands on the wheel. I opted for full self-driving package, and that gave me a few extra things and supposedly more down the road. When really full self-driving comes, I will get it. It gives me navigate on Autopilot, so the car can actually take interchanges for me. It'll change lanes for me for speed if I wanted to. Now, sort of since that came and since I got the car, over-the-air updates have added more things to the car for the full self-driving. So the car now not only recognizes stop signs and red lights, it will now act on them, even on city streets, which is not that useful, but it's very cool to see it. You can see visual representations of that actually on the screen. It's kind of one step closer to that self-driving in the city streets, which has sort of been a really hard thing to get to. But again, it's nice to have. I also get things like Summon, where I can control the car from my phone, which that still seems like a magic trick, although I've probably used it in practical use like twice, to have sort of smart Summon, where it'll kind of come to me more than just forward or back. I don't regret getting full self-driving since it was on a lease, and again, it didn't add that much to the payment. Elon keeps teasing it's going to get more and more expensive because it's going to be worth more and more. I would probably have waited to see what it gets. If I had bought it though, I'm not sure I would have wanted to spend the $7,000 in cash to get those features. But that's just Autopilot. Let me show you some of the other stuff that I've got in my car. So there's a lot of things I like about the Model 3. I'm gonna start with the looks of the car. I love the way the car looks. I tinted the windows and I did a chrome delete, and that was it. And I think the car looks slick, it looks fast, it looks sporty, and I am in love with sort of the aesthetic of the car. I was also a bit nervous about not having sort of a display right in front of me like I've had with previous cars and like pretty much every other car has had. The Model 3 just has one center screen. I was a bit nervous about how that was gonna be. Is it gonna be distracting to keep looking off to the side? I found myself getting used to it actually really quickly. I don't find it much of a distraction at all. So on my X, I had white seats, and I opted again for white seats on the 3, and I got a ton of comments as to why I would do that, especially having kids. So my experience, the white seats actually held up perfectly. By the end of 3 years on the X, the seats pretty much looked brand new, just a little bit of a cleaning, and I wear jeans every day. I didn't have any sort of dye transfer over. The white seats are incredibly durable, so if you're worried about getting them or you have kids, you don't want it to get dirty, don't worry, the white seats work really well. Range is obviously a huge deal with an electric car. On the Model X, my max range when I charged to 100% was 214 miles. And that's, if you haven't driven electric, you don't generally really get that full 214. That's kind of based on ideal scenarios. That 214 translated to about 175 of actual real driving, at least for me. So I wanted a bit more range with the 3. So I opted for the performance model that you lose a little bit, but it does have the biggest battery pack. And I'm able to get now a really consistent about 260 miles to 270 miles estimated range, and that's translated to about 240, 250 real miles. Mostly I just charge my car at home like a cell phone. I plug it in and it's charged in the morning, but I have access to superchargers. I now have access to level 3 superchargers as they become more popular. I can charge at 250 kilowatts, incredibly fast speeds here. Tesla supercharger network, I think, is a huge reason why people are opting for Teslas over competitors' cars. There are thousands of them all across the world, and it makes charging insanely easy. So overall, I've been pretty happy with the Model 3, but the car is definitely not perfect. Kind of an odd quirk is you have to really slam the doors insanely hard to get them to close. I wish the trunk had a power option, especially if you get to the performance level. I think that would have been a nice thing to have. Tesla's kind of developed a reputation for having some quality control issues with their cars. Panel gaps are kind of notorious when it comes to the Model 3. And actually at delivery, my bumper, one of the pins that keeps the bumper in, was kind of falling off. So they replaced the entire bumper before I took the car out. And since then, I haven't had any quality issues with the car at all. I don't have any weird abnormal panel gaps. Before I chrome deleted, the chrome wasn't misaligned. The quality of the car has been really nice. So the state of the Model 3 right now in the middle of 2020 is really good. There's a reason that it's the best-selling sedan of its size in pretty much every country where it's sold. It's an amazing blend of speed and performance and safety, and I think really good looks as well. Now, it might not be the most practical car if you're trying to haul around 3 kids or need a hatchback. That's why the Y exists. But if you want a car that offers all of those features and a really fun package and you like the sedan style, I think now, just like it was a couple years ago, it's still an amazing time to hop in a Model 3. So big thank you to our sponsor Motion VFX for helping with these videos. They provide hundreds of templates and plugins for pretty much any scenario you can think of. So for this video, we used mCallout Simple 2. All you have to do is fill in the text you want and move the pointer. You can track an object if you want to, and in seconds you have an animated text layer that could easily take an hour to do by hand. We absolutely love using Motion VFX, and you can learn more, even check them out with the link below.